Hey, it's Tuesday, January 19th, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're watching the Season 5 episode, This Place is Death. I feel a little bit less like death than I did the other day, so that's good. This is a Sun and Jin-centric episode. Let's see, on the island it's 1988, and Jin is washed up with Danielle Rousseau's French science team. They decide to trek into the jungle to the radio tower. While they're walking through the jungle, things get kind of hairy and Nadine disappears. They try to search for Nadine and they find her body. It falls from the sky much like the pilots did. It was kind of like up in a tree and it fell down. So then they run and the monster grabs Montan and pulls him. They chase after him. They finally are able to grab onto Montan just as the monster's pulling him down into a hole underneath this structure that we know as the temple. And the team and Jin are kind of holding him by the arm, and the monster's pulling him down, and his arm comes off, and the rest of him goes down under the hole. So the team decides that they're going to go down into the hole to try to rescue him, because they can hear him yelling, you know, I'm hurt, I need help, yada yada yada. Jin convinces Danielle to not go down under the temple, that she needs to protect the baby, and it's not safe for her to go down there. And then a flash happens, and Jin finds himself still at the temple, but everybody's gone, and Montan's arm is still there on the ground, but it's decayed quite a bit. He makes his way back to the beach, where he finds a camp set up. He kind of looks around, he sees two dead bodies laying on the beach, and then he hears some talking, and he goes around the corner to see Danielle holding Robert at gunpoint. He's trying to talk her out of shooting him, and she says, you've been infected, yada yada yada. He kind of says, you know, I love you, I would never hurt you. And as soon as she lets her guard down, he picks up his gun and shoots her, but she's taken the bullets out of his gun, and then she shoots him. The question is, what happened to those three men underneath the temple? Were they under the Imperius curse? So after Danielle shoots Robert, she sees Jin, and she starts to shoot at him and says, you're infected too, you disappeared, and he runs into the jungle. Another flash happens, and somebody's holding him at gunpoint. They say, turn around slowly, and we turn around and we see that it's Sawyer, and they embrace, and there's a great reunion. I love it. It's awesome. They continue on their trek towards the orchid, and the flashes come closer and closer. In fact, there are two right back to back. That causes Charlotte to collapse. The group decides to split up. Daniel's going to stay with Charlotte. The rest of them are going to continue on towards the orchid. Sawyer and Juliet, Miles, Locke, and Jin make it to the orchid, and it's there. It's kind of dilapidated, like it's been knocked down. They're kind of in the future, it looks like. A flash, and it's gone. But they do find the well, which Charlotte told them about before they split up. Locke gets ready to go down the well. Jin tells him not to bring back Sun. He gives him his wedding ring as proof that his body washed up on shore and they buried him. And Locke goes down the well and there's a flash, and we come back to them, and Sawyer's trying to pull Locke up as the flash is happening, and he's just tugging on the rope, which is come with them in the flash because they're holding on to it, but now it's just in the dirt. We go back to Charlotte and Dan. Charlotte's really not doing well. This last flash is kind of taking it out of her. She says something about chocolate. She loves chocolate for dinner, and then she dies. And Dan is obviously very upset by this. Back with Locke, he's fallen down into the cavern with the donkey wheel on it. Christian is down in the cavern and tells Locke that, you know, he needs to go up, push the donkey wheel, put it back on its axis. And just as Locke is turning the wheel, Christian says, say hello to my son for me. Off the island, Sven is watching what's going on the dock between Kate and Jack and Ben and Saeed. She talks to her daughter on the phone. She gets out of her car and takes the gun and holds Ben at gunpoint and says, I blame you for killing my husband. And Ben says, your husband's not dead and I can prove it to you. Eventually they make it to the church. Desmond comes up and says, aren't you... And Ben asks, what are you doing here? And he says, well, I'm here to see Daniel Faraday's mother. Isn't that what you're here for? And they all kind of look at him odd, like, I don't think Ben knew that Eloise Hawking was Dan's mother. They go inside, and Eloise was like, I thought you were going to bring them all. And Ben said, I did the best that I could. And she said, well, we'll get started anyway. There are a lot of questions with this episode, mostly about Christian Shepherd being down in that cavern. Like, Obviously, this is a time period well before Christian's body made it to the island, so I'm guessing it's Jacob or the Man in Black. How were they able to manifest themselves in somebody's body that wasn't, or image that wasn't already on the island? Leslie, you're back tomorrow with 316, and the next couple episodes are really exciting. I'm looking forward to them immensely. I will see you tomorrow then. Bye.
We're gonna need to watch that again.
Ooh, 2-nostril breathing. Oh,